Well, hello everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Grace Westcott. I'm the president of PEN Canada, and I'm very pleased to be here this afternoon. This is a wonderful signal occasion, and I'm delighted to have a chance to say a few words about PEN Canada. Well, PEN was founded over 100 years ago, and it was founded on the belief in the moral force of literature, and in the conviction that writers and literature could be a bridge for understanding in a fractured world. Initially, it was something of a fancy supper club, but it soon found its purpose in advocating on behalf of writers who were harassed, silenced, imprisoned, or killed for exercising their right to put pen to page. Since those early days, PEN has advocated on behalf of hundreds of threatened writers around the world, and some of those writers are in this room today. But many are not. At every event that PEN hosts or sponsors, and at literary festivals around the country, PEN asks that a place be set aside for a writer who cannot be there, who doesn't have the freedom to come and do what we're about to do today, which is read, work, tell our stories. We do this to remind audiences of the privilege of their freedom and their responsibility that comes with it. We do it in order to honor the writers who defend these freedoms at great cost to themselves. So on the stage tonight, we have a chair that is empty except for the picture of a photograph, or a photograph of Dawit Isaak. He's one of 10 Eritrean writers who are honorary members of PEN Canada. Dawit is a father of 3. He's a playwright, a journalist, and the co-owner of the newspaper Setit. In September 2001, at least 30 journalists and opposition politicians were rounded up and disappeared into Eritrea's jails when the government of the time wished to silence its critics. Since his arrest, Mr. Isaak and the other 9 of his colleagues have been held without charge, without trial, and under reportedly horrific conditions. 6 of the journalists are said to have died. We don't know whether Mr. Isaak is alive or dead. But this chair is his, and he is not forgotten. I have to say, for a person like myself, who's grown up, lived her whole life in Toronto, in the comfort and safety of Canada, free to write, free to speak, without concern about the state throwing me in jail, it is humbling to see the kind of personal sacrifices that writers make to write in certain parts of the country. And it's humbling to me as well to watch what so many of you as writers in exile have done. Your bravery in writing in the first place, and your resilience in adapting to a life in exile. So you should know that I, for one, admire it very, very much. Over the years, the Writers in Exile Committee at PEN has tried to help the Writers in Exile community, all of you. We have set up or arranged writers' residencies at universities and colleges. We have paid emergency funds where we could. We have attended at refugee hearings on behalf of writers seeking asylum, and in many, many other ways. Brendan has been doing this often in the background for over a decade. But the Writers in Exile community is the most important thing, the most important mutual support society. We see it all the time, helping all of you adapt to life in Canada, helping you find your voices again and be recognized and celebrated as writers. And that brings us to tonight. This is a marvelous event where we will hear from 6 such writers telling their stories. So I'd like to say warm congratulations to all of those who worked so hard to bring this event to fruition. And now I'll hand the stage over. Thank you.